everybody, I'm Adam.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Will, and we are
Working Title! Historia's pregnant!
Pop! Goes the weasel.
Eren's baby. Hashtag it.
Hashtag
baby daddy.
Baby daddy.
Guys, we are back with another Attack on Titan reaction, Season 4, Episode 11, Deceiver.
That's not good. Last on, guys, it's really just deception in the ranks everywhere. Everybody has their own intent for what they want to do with Paradise Island. Some people want it for the fossil fuels. Other people want it for the salvation of all Eldians. Some just want to live their lives in peace. And we all know that these three things are not going to go well and they're going to collide. Who's on whose side? Who's with who? Espionage everywhere. And then the Marley crew, who used to be the bad guys, are just kind of chilling back in Marley Town.
Yeah. And the wine might be poisoned.
Yes.
No cap. I mean, the episode's called Deceiver.
It's going to become a master clue episode is what I hope that we get.
Guys, if you enjoyed the content, make sure you leave a like, punch that subscription button, flick the notification bell, because it's right there. You can see it totally. Leave a comment down below what you thought about this episode and what you thought about our reaction to this episode. The Patreon is down there in the description. If you want to see this episode of AOT 1 week in advance, go check out the Patreon. Finland Saga just got put on there. Check it out. And Jujutsu Kaisen's also on there.
Woo! And this is not a market substitute, guys. If y'all have not watched Attack on Titan, go on whatever anime streaming service you prefer, and then come back to YouTube and watch Working Title's reaction. We're gonna punch in. Bah!
And hey, if you want to see your face,
No, leave that bit.
it's a callback.
Leave that bit.
Go look in the mirror.
Oh, I forgot about
Leave
that.
that.
Oh,
We're so cringe in the beginning of our channel.
Go look in a mirror. If you're a true fan, or a true Working Titan,
I hate myself.
I'm like sweating for no reason. I'm also wearing
it's a little hot down here.
I thought we were having the baby.
That's
already.
me too.
Oh.
This is a trap.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's soap in
come
that.
on.
Yeah.
Or like
Falco.
a brick.
Oh!
my God.
Oh!
Oh.
Dang, this girl is a little savage, bro.
Is this Levi's castle? Castle Levi, maybe?
Where the hell are these kids gonna go?
Can they show us what happened on the blimp?
Oh, Reiner. I can
Oh,
believe
oh.
about you, my man.
Back in Marley, guys.
悪い夢でも見たか全て夢ならよかったのにな
Wow.
ガビとファルコの声が聞こえた
Okay. There you go. One of those two are taking their armor titan.
No, remember they were screaming for him
Yeah.
at a distance.
Oh, it could be a double whammy.
entendre.
Like it's also him just hearing the experiences.
Oh, episode 10. Wait, what? We haven't seen episode 10 yet? My bad.
I thought it was episode 10, 11.
In the sticks.
Look how beautiful this place is.
Yeah.
じゃあこれ捨てといてよなんでだよこんなもんがここで何の役に立つってんだよ私は善良なエルディア人なのそれがないと島の悪魔と同じになるでしょ何言ってんだお前おかしく
She
なっ
is
ちゃった
acting
のか
crazy.
じゃあほっといてよ
Just ditch this chick, dude.
ついてきた
He loves her.
あんたまで死ぬことないのに何してるの
Uh,
この朝早く
that's Sasha's sister.
どこから来たの
The girl that she saved?
言いたくないです私たち家が
No, the girl who was
No.
at the funeral last episode.
Stop, Gabby. Don't kill this girl, too.
戻れないんです
I think it's Sasha's sister, yeah.
お腹空いたでしょ近くに私の家があるからついてきてもっと遠くに逃げないと ここもじきに捜索される。それに私は悪魔と一
You
緒に
are
食事はでき
literally
ない
the same type of person. Like, y'all just grew up in different
入って
spots.
きて。
俺が全部話すから余計なこと言うなよ。
That voice actor sounds so fucking familiar.
君たちか
Yeah, it is
Oh,
Sasha's
yeah, you're right.
family.
Sasha's family.
どうしたんですか
The Browse, right?
Oh, Sasha?
Yeah.
Sasha?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sasha.
So,
僕たち
she's
は
the one who killed her.
Yep.
ベンとミアです。
Oh, then she's gonna learn. She's gonna learn what she did.
Exactly.
Hopefully she learns.
だから数日だけここに止めてください。
I think that's Tanjiro from Demon Slayer.
そうげん子供が頭を下げるもんじゃないブラス厩舎へよう来たね
Aw.
何日でもおったらいいって
I hope Gabi doesn't do something wicked here.
She definitely could.
She could. I'm just hoping she doesn't.
She looks scared. I mean, I know why. Ugh, God.
妹がすみません。いただきます。うまい。美味しいな。
Who are all the
This music
children?
is terrifying.
Who do you think all those children are?
ほら、ミアも
Little
帰って。
more kids, maybe more younger siblings of Sasha, or like nephews, nieces.
この度のマーレ遠征作戦成功おめでとうご
Oh
ざい
yeah,
ます
they're still here.
各首脳も
They just met
エル
back
ディア
up.
国の勇敢さを称える声にあふれております
お褒めに預かり光栄にございます
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
するとあちらが例の観測機でしょうか
はい氷瀑石を燃料に用いて実現
A plane?
世界初の
Water plane?
となるでしょう
Yeah.
We know they have like the original type of planes, right?
No,
Like,
just the blimps.
They said
No.
other people were developing them.
Yeah, yeah.
Other
They showed a little graph of it.
Go, Wright Brothers.
Yeah.
説明してくれ。志願しな
Hey,
Yeah.
Samwise.
最強命令だって兵団だろ。
憲兵に当たってくれ。
ハンジさんイエーガー氏がもたらした勝利により我々の未来
News
は
paper
Oh,
guys.
yeah.
そうであれば兵団とイエーガー氏との関係は我々エルディア国民の問題です。
ハンジさん、あなたは情報は納税者に委ねられるとおっしゃっていましたが、その姿勢に変化があった
That's true, Hanji.
辛い立場なのはわかるよ、ハンジさん。だから目を見て言ってくれ。信じていいって。
They don't want to get betrayed by a government again.
全てはエルディア国民。
So what info do they want to be privy to?
Just what's going on with Eren.
With
I
Eren
think.
specifically?
Yeah.
They're praising
I wonder.
Eren.
Yeah, I wonder what they know about Eren.
Well, he's back in town, and
What he
was
did.
victorious.
Yeah.
These people like that he was. Oh boy.
I mean, they don't know about what exactly happened.
エレンの情報を渡したのは君たち。
Oh,
Say-
Flock, you
ホル
bastard.
が
エレンを解放すべきだからです彼は何も間違ったことをしていない
Yeah, you're right. These guys are gonna be like Eren loyalists.
Yeah.
勝利を手に入れたその勝利とは地ならしという圧倒的な力であり我々の生存権です
言ってしまえば人から聞いた話に過ぎない。
エレンを牢に閉じ込めているままだからでしょう、このまま無意に時間を消費する余裕が我々にあるのでしょうか
Yeah, the rest of the world is planning your demise.
先の
君たちはエレンの情報を外に漏らした罪で裁かれる。
Treason.
Oh
この4
boy.
人を懲罰する。
Look at that shot.
歴史は人類の勝利のためなら本望です
Man, Flock is such an interesting character.
多分順番がある。役を終えても
Oh.
誰かがすぐに代わりをいんじゃ
And now it's her.
Good
頑
luck,
張る
Hanji. Yeah.
Dang.
I'm pooped. Yeah, you know, I would be too if I were you, Hanj.
でも兵器違反は後悔していません。勝利が調査兵団の目的ならやめなさいルイーゼ。刑期が伸びるだけだから。
God, she literally is like a grown-up Levi
あ
now.
なたに命を救うあの時のままです。巨人を人の力でねじ伏せたあなたを見て分かったのです。
Wait.
She was a kid. She was the
Oh, the
kid.
little
She that
girl.
little girl?
The little
Yeah.
girl.
私たちは
Yeah,
I
remember that. Wow.
戦っていいのだと学んだのです。少しでもあなたに近づきたくて、私は
Join the Scouts.
A hero.
ミカサさんが調査兵団
What's
に
this girl's name?
Luis.
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 イエガーさんのためなら彼の自由を
私から言えることは一つ。口を閉じてなさい。
She's saluting.
Why is she remembering this?
もう大丈夫だミカサ
Huh. Ew.
Oh gosh.
That's like the scariest looking thing.
Ew.
Why does it have like dead eyes?
Yeah. Who is this person?
Gabby?
Ah, it's the horse that bites people's hair.
Oh, you're
It's that
right,
freaking
I forgot
horse.
about it.
Ah!
Oh.
How did it survive?
Gabby! What is They're being... This is the dumbest doing.
Fair warning, Charette is rather partial to pulling hair.
Why you
so I'd
bullying
watch
me?
out if you don't want to go bald. We're glad to meet you.
So maybe you got rid of that old yee-yee-ass haircut you got, you get some bitches on your dick. Oh, better yet, maybe Tanisha will call your dog ass.
ここに根付いた方がいいと思う。
何言ってんの？
ここでおとなしく助けを待つんだよ。じきに世界中の軍隊がこの島に攻めて
That's
く
a
る。
great point. Yeah.
裏切り者があんなに近くにいたんだよ。
俺たちにできることはねえよ。
He probably feels guilty too because he helped a little bit, you know, with the sending the
unbeknownst
letters.
to him.
二人ともお昼にしよう。
Gabby would hate him for it even if he didn't know what he was doing, you
仕
know.
事を覚えるのが早いね。
しかしカヤさんもですけど、ここ
Kaya.
で働いている人はみんな若いんですね。
うん。ここにいる
Oh,
人
I was
も
gonna, I was gonna say that. I was like, is this an orphanage? or
Okay, so
something?
maybe it's not like Sasha's sister, but just
行き場のない子供には支
maybe
援がある
a neighborhood friend that's now living under
4
them.
年前に親を失っている子供たちの集まり
We
に
lost our parents 4
Okay.
years
罪を
ago.
受け入れてないよ。
That
Adam
makes
could be
sense.
right. It could be the girl that he
この
saved.
島の民は
It is.
That's what I was saying.
Sorry, it went over my head. No, it is her. 100%.
エルディア人一人一人が罪の自覚を
She even
正し
still
く
has
持
the
つことで
deadpan eyes.
ようやく食材への道が開かれるのです
Great call.
それ
Yeah,
は
look.
みんなが親を亡くしたことと関係があるの
Oh
当然
gosh.
いくら善人のように振る舞おうとも逃れられる罪の重さではありませんマーレドはそう教えられてる
Falco's like, what are
こ
you
れは個人
saying?
的な歴史の話だから
Yeah, she said Marley.
Yeah, she
君
knows.
たちはマーレから来たんでしょ
Right.
どうして最初からです
Oh
か
no.
恥ずかしいな
Falco, go watch her. Falco, come on, don't do this stuff. Come on, please don't. No way. Ugh.
何してんだお前は悪魔が正体を表したおかしいと思ったんだ島の悪魔がこんな
Jesus
神聖な
Gabby, man. You gotta get out of your own head.
お前ら何暴れてんだ
まずいミアがお兄ちゃん取られるってやっち
What?
まって
She's protecting them.
Yeah. So they probably don't. Oh, look at that. They probably don't know that, like, some Marley people have been associated now with this land.
その巨人を見て村の人はみんな逃げた
Is this Connie's
mom-
sister?
Oh, no. No, it's the girl. It is the girl
Okay.
from the village. But we're gonna see probably
Oh.
Connie's mom.
Yeah.
If they never removed her, right?
Maybe.
Yeah, it is the girl.
They
Yeah.
probably killed the mom at this
お母
point.
さんはずっと生きたまま食べられて
She was alive the whole time it
次
happened.
第に声も上げられ
Oh, she's talking about her mom.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And I had it
な
wrong.
くなるまで私たちは悪魔の民族だって言ってるんで
But
す
they didn't do it. Yeah.
でもなんでそんなに恨まれ
A
て
little girl growing up in the village, how, like, what has she done to the rest of the world?
お母さんは一体何をしたの、何をしたからこんなに恨まれているの何千年も世界中の人々を虐殺したからでしょ
So did your kind.
千年他の民族の文化を奪って望まれない子を産ませて数えきれないほど人を殺してきたの被害者ぶるのをやめて
Are you serious?
でもお母さんはこの辺で生まれ育ったからそんなひどいことはしてないと思うだから100年前あなたたちの先祖が犯した罪の大きさが問題なの
Dead and
100年前
gone.
ってじゃあ今生きている私たち
Yeah,
一体
exactly.
何の罪を犯しているのついこの間だって私の町を蹂躙した私のお母さんが殺されたのは4年前だからその罪じゃないだから先祖が世界中の人を虐殺したからお母さんは誰も殺してない、ねえミアちゃんと答えてなんでお母さんがあんなに苦しんで殺
Yeah,
された
stop
の
being so dense. I get you, but stop.
おかしいよ。なんでお母さんは生きたまま体を食べられたの。ねえ、何のため
And
に
now Gabby should understand that because
Yeah.
it's exactly what she was saying the past like 5 episodes.
Yeah.
It's like, why did my friends have to die?
4年前のパラディ島侵攻の目的は大攻勢を見据えて
Yep.
威力偵察
And
です
it's your guys' fault that her mom died.
それに
Like,
巻き込まれたんですお母さんには何の罪もありませんごめんなさい
that's the thing. It's like we can play the blame game of whose ancestors did what.
それでなんで謝るの。
Ugh,
ありがとうベン。
that's so frustrating.
それでかやさんはその状況からどうやって助か
Sasha.
ったんですか
今の私より少し年上ぐらいのお姉ちゃんが薪割り用の斧を持って入ってきて巨人相手に戦ったの。
そんな無茶だ
結局お姉ちゃんが自分を盾にして
Oh,
巨人から
yeah.
私を逃がしてくれた。お姉ちゃん
Oh,
は
it's already over.
Yeah.
「当てのないあなたたちを決して見捨てたりしない」
Yeah, if she was alive.
私にそうしてくれたように
Damn.
Man.
マーレに帰る方法が見つかるかもしれない。
Wow.
そして私はお姉ちゃんみたいな人になりたいの。
That's really
That's
sweet.
awesome. Damn.
Heartstring episode.
Yeah. Man, rest in peace, Sasha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This show is so good for covering its tracks in terms of like if you didn't like an episode beforehand,
They make you like it.
they,
After.
they fucking make you like the episode.
Yeah.
Darn you, show.
Yeah.
You couldn't just let me not like Potato Girl. Gosh darn it.
What's the saying? You know, you only miss things when they're gone, or whatever. You only miss people when they're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. True.
Oh, this is the one with post credit?
11.
No, 11. Next one.
How are we not on 11? Sasha died on 8, then we watched 9 and 10. Shouldn't this be 11? I don't get that.
Yeah, I swear that.
Yeah.
獣の巨人の死骸を調べた結
Zeke's.
Blown apart. Just his body.
果だが足りない
Oh, he's gonna know that Zeke. Yeah.
Well, they already suspected because Peak was like, they're Zeke's people.
我々を欺くために自らを亡き者と装った挑戦で逃げ寄せたと見ているこの対人型に改良された立体起動装置には
And they now have the
マーレの技
technology.
術が取り入れられている
Yeah, so now they know there was Marley people with
4年前
them.
のパラディ島
Like, not just Zeke, like they had insiders.
ずっと一緒に戦ってたのに裏切り者だったなんて
Oh, this is probably trippy for
Reiner.
Reiner.
今から半年以内パラディ島に世界連合軍による掃討作戦を
6
行う
months.
Yeah.
Nice.
半年ですか半年後でしょうか
Zeke's gonna be dead by that point, though, right?
あの二人は
Yeah.
そして半年後に潰されるのを策もなしにただ待っている
That's a good point.
世界連合
Strike
軍は
now.
止められません
Yeah.
Oh, Lord, guys.
今すぐにパラディ島を奇襲するんです
Shit.
Bugger.
Yeah, can we
can we count
can we
these real
count?
quick?
Yeah, count these episodes
Because it
now.
said 10. Are they getting it wrong over there? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It is 11.
It definitely.
It
It
said,
said 10.
It said,
It said
10.
10. That's weird.
Come on, show. Get your numbers right.
yeah.
You're making us think we're crazy.
I was gonna say I felt so stupid for saying 10 at the beginning of the episode, and then we saw, or saying 11, and then we saw his 10. Ugh.
Yeah.
Okay, this is so random.
I started freaking out because I was like, oh my god, I skipped an episode.
I thought, yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I really hope you keep this part in. Please tell me, people, that was because of, like, the Mappa, like, they only had, like, 3 months to make this whole thing screw up. Because, like, the Blu-ray version is all fixed and tightened up. Like, please tell me this is them and not just, like, we're crazy right now. And
It
we
said
can't be
10.
crazy. I know. But I need confirmation from, like, the rest of the world, too.
To make sure we're actually
Patreoners.
stable and understand things.
Patreon, YouTube comments, Discord, please tell us.
So to start, it was Falco and Gabi breaking out.
Or was it not Falco?
I don't know if Falco actually intended.
Or, I'm sorry, Flock. Never mind.
Well, Falco and Gabi, I mean, Falco's in on it, but he said, "Oh my God, that's overkill. You're doing too much." Because then she started like beating his face in to kill him.
Maybe it was supposed to be like a knockout. She promised that it would be a knockout because I don't think Falco's.
No, she has so much hatred for these devils. Of course, she was gonna slaughter that dude in the most fucked up way possible.
Yeah, and Falco
She's
also
a demonic
loves,
child.
Falco loves her too, so there's a strong chance that he can be easily manipulated by her, even if she says one thing. They escape. I was just guessing it might have been Castle Levi from the first season, but it could be any castle.
Mm-hmm.
I just would assume it's that because any castle that wasn't that one, they would always be like, what is this place?
Yeah.
Like when they found Utgard Castle, Utgard Keep, they're like, we've never seen this.
But also, that's such a like back burner thing at this point too.
It's just gone.
Well, I mean,
Utgard.
like, well, I'm just saying, no, not Utgard, but I'm just saying if it's a random new castle, it's such a like.
Not important.
We have so many other things that
Right.
are more important, and they only have like 6 episodes to get through it. If they spent like 30 seconds explaining this castle, I would have been like, "Get on with it!
Yeah,
what are you doing?" So
they make it down to a stream. She's all like, "Do what you want. I have my own plans. I'm staying true to myself." You know, it's more of the like she's selling the lie to herself. Because in Marley, she made it very clear that like. She's hearing what he's saying, picking up what he's putting down, but it seems like she's choosing not to listen because she's worked so hard her life to
murder these people and
make her family like good Eldians, believing the lie that like only some of them can achieve greatness while others will always be under the rule of their sins.
And also, she's looking for Zeke because she wants answers from him.
Yeah.
And then she meets the blonde girl.
Yeah.
Oh God, what did they give her name? They did. Not Luis. Luis is the one from Mikasa's past.
Maya.
Kaya.
Was
Kaya.
Yeah,
they meet Kaya, and she. I mean, later on in the episode, she heard the whole thing. It was like whatever, and took them in anyways. Which to me, that's such person. That is also it's like such a Sasha thing too. Like Sasha wouldn't like just like that girl said she wants to be like Sasha. Like Sasha wouldn't care if she thought that you were like in need. She would probably take you in.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, also like Sasha has a big heart. Like Sasha was killing the police over in Marley, but she chose to spare because she couldn't find herself willing to kill a child. Good catch, by the way, about it being the girl from season 2.
Yeah, it looked like her.
Like
in the eyes.
Yeah, we saw her. She was at the funeral for Sasha last episode, so I just assumed it was a sister. But even then, it was like off-putting because like it was like very distinct blonde hair, and the face didn't even necessarily match up to like Sasha from season 1 to 3, or even Sasha season 4.
Red hair with brown eyes.
Or the family.
Yeah.
Or the family with very dark hair.
But knowing that it's in like an orphanage, like the parents that are taking in orphans. Like
I forgot Historia started that.
Yeah, she made all those big houses out in open fields, so it's more of that.
But also, like, it might not, I mean, it could be related to Historia, but also could not be, because you remember, like, at the end of that episode in season 2, Sasha, like, ran into her parents, or her dad, and just sent the girl with them. Like, here, you take the girl, and just go. Like, they could have just started there, like, yo, we're the people that live out in the sticks, and when we find little, like, kids that have had their family in by Titan, we just take them in, or whatever.
Yeah, it could be a blend of the both, because that episode back then was... The whole point of that was the father was actually willing to let go of the old ways and join up with society. And Sasha was the one who was stubborn at the time and wanted, which is actually funny in reversal because you would always assume it's the older individual who wants to keep the old ways, and the child would want to start new. But the dad was saying, "Sasha, we have to go and be with civilization." So maybe they just end up becoming caretakers for a lot of the children.
Yeah,
you know. What's cool about these episodes recently, I think the last 3, ever since coming back to Paradise, is they're establishing so many new characters. It's not annoying, though. It's what they're doing is like setting up the fact that the situations and the cards that were being dealt, or just the past issues that we've had at hand, like everybody has a say, everybody has feelings and thoughts about it. Like just showing like everybody will always be in conflict, like because where there's free will, there's always going to be people who would disagree with one another. Like, it seems
For
like,
sure. Yeah.
like, by the episode, we have more and more people that we're going to have to deal with to convince about either this way of thinking or that way of thinking about going about a problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's as simple as, like, Kaya and Gabi and Falco, and then Flock and his group, and Hanji and Mikasa, you know, and, like, the crowd, Samwise Gamgee, and, like,
all
the
of the
reporters
characters.
and the tax people, and, you know, like, everybody. And then even across the world with, like, Marley, of, like, just, like, everybody does have, like, a, you know, what the F is going on. And, Yelena, right? Is that her name?
Yelena,
and
yeah.
Pixis. I mean, it's just... God, I feel like there's so much that just happened that episode.
Yeah.
It was, just, like, all
a lot.
over the place. In a good all over the place. Like, a lot was going on.
Yeah, so
And then
the world... Oh, go ahead.
No, you go.
I was going to say... I mean, we're probably going to be jumping all over with this
Yeah.
particular episode because there was just a lot to take in. Over in, I would say it's the center, like the Citadel, the main, like where Eren's being held, the civilization part. There's strife in the crowds because people want to know what is the status of Eren. A lot of people treating him as the savior of them. A lot of people probably, or maybe I would say maybe the minority of people feeling like Eren should have some form of punishment.
Well, I mean,
be
it's
held
only the people that are, like, in the military that
Right.
are in the know about that.
Yeah.
They also said they stopped rebuilding Shiganshina, too.
They stopped rebuilding?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because of all the shit that's going on with Eren. Like, where they're holding Eren and where they're holding... Because what's-her-face, the Yelena, was being... Her, like, barracks or wherever she was living at was close to Eren's
Eren.
home.
Mm-hmm.
And she started moving around when Eren disappeared. Like, she made the connection to get Eren and Zeke together is what Pixis was, like, surmising from that.
Oh, okay. So they're talking about Shiganshina?
Yes.
Well, they were complaining to Hanji and be like, you, like, Flagel? Is that his name, right?
Flagon? Flagon?
Flagel.
Flagel, yeah.
Flagon's the guy who died, I think.
Yeah. Samwise. That he said, you put us in charge of rebuilding Shiganshina. Like, why are we stopping now? Are the things we hear about Eren Yeager true? Like, let us see him. Why don't we know? You told us that we could trust you. Can we still trust you? Didn't at one point you said the taxpayers and, like, the regular people should be able to know the information. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's just, like, there's a lot going on. Because it's, like, it's crazy how Season 4 is, like, flipping completely on its head of everybody's reversing roles. And even, like, down to, like, that Hanji remembering the scene with the dude of, like, you know, one person steps down and someone else fills their spot. And it's like, you know, sorry, I'm jumping around from thing to thing, but, like, you know, they were on the side of trying to overthrow the horrible government.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're keeping secrets, and now the crowd, the public is feeling like you guys are doing something and not letting us all filled in. Then, like, on the other side, with, like, Reiner and them just got duped by Zeke, just like how Reiner, Annie, and Bertolt duped Paradise.
Yeah.
So it's just crazy how, like, everybody's position is just, like, flipping on, like, where they stand, how they feel about it, and it's really, like, kind of like, oh, like, now you're in the other person's shoes. Now you're in the position and seeing the POV of something that you didn't imagine seeing. Like, oh, this is what happened when I did this to these people. Or this is what happened when I was making these decisions, and now someone else has to, like, deal with it, you know?
You know, what really stinks about the situation we're in, and I know it's the intent of the writer and the writing teams and what the point of the whole story is to begin with, is it's almost impossible to, like, hate on anyone as well as root for anyone.
Yeah.
Because, like, what is happening is, like, I understand every single character. Like, Flock being the tool bag that he is, I 100% understand where he's coming from.
Yeah.
He wants to restore the Eldian Empire because they were harmed. Like, he just wants to bring peace to his people because other people oppressed him. I get it. Same with Gabi. Like, she's experienced the same stuff that Kaya experienced, right? Like that's what the whole point of that scene was in the building, was like Kaya was saying, like, why did my mother have to die for something? Like, why did she have to be a ramification of, not a ramification, a casualty of something that had nothing to do with her?
Yeah.
And it's exactly what Gabi was saying, is like, why did Udo and Sophia have to die? I want to know why.
Yeah.
And even the Marley crew now, like, with them saying, like, we have to go, and if they start... Were they saying it because, like, they were worried that, like, they will start the rumbling? What was the reason that they...
The reason why they don't want to wait 6 months is because they know Zeke is planning for them to wait for the rest of the world to attack as well. So Zeke's going to have a whole strat on what to do. That's what their opinion is that Zeke will have a whole strat. So they're like, we just need to attack right now with whatever we've got.
Yeah, I wonder what Magath's objective is, because I don't think Magath sees them as devils, but like, what was his intent working with Willie? Like, what was their true intent behind like prepping to make Eren the super bad guy?
Getting a solid excuse for everyone to join up and just wipe out Paradis.
But but is it not because they discriminate against the aliens? It's more because they just want to be a conquering force in the world.
Yeah,
like when it comes to Magath, I don't see it as like a discriminatory thing that he hates the aliens.
No, I don't think so either. But I think it's just that, I mean, they remember in that whole arc, the whole thing was like, yo, we're falling behind. People are getting more technology. Yeah. The Titans aren't as much of a threat anymore as they used to be, and we also are missing some of our most useful pieces, like the Colossal. And they still have the Founding Titans that can do the rumbling. Like, if we get all that stuff, then we're really a threat to the rest of the world.
Because then they also brought up that their warrior candidates, it's going to take too long for them to train new warrior candidates, so they need Gabi and Falco immediately.
Yeah, they're put under the gun.
Yeah.
I have so many questions now, and I'm definitely going to ask you them during this post-talk.
Yeah.
But we should keep on talking about the episode itself first.
I have two things I want to talk about. One, I want to go back to Gabi, just because I kind of want to, like, give my piece about the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a little bit of rehashing of what we've already talked about, but it's like, it's so crazy to me. Like, I hope that she gets a little bit of understanding. And I know, like, just from our comments that a lot of people don't like this girl. And, I mean, she's kind of frustrating. I get it. Like, I'm frustrated with the way she thinks, but she's a child.
Right.
So she doesn't fully understand. She's been...
Exactly.
She's kind of been brainwashed to think a certain way. But it's like, at the end of the day, any sane human being that can really think about things, like, we can't behave in the way that she's behaving. What's the quote from Game of Thrones? You can't blame the son for the sins of the father, or you can't punish the son for the sins of the father. I don't know exactly how it goes.
Yeah.
But, like, that's the thing. It's
the
like...
whole ancestor thing you're talking about?
Yeah, like, every...
Kaya's mom didn't have anything to do with what her ancestors did.
For sure. Right. Every ancestor, every human that exists on Earth, and every person that exists in this Earth that we see on TV has family members that have done fucked up things, whether it's as big as, like, a whole society, or as small as a town, or as small as just a family. Everybody has family members that have done horrible things. That does not justify any human being to then go out of their way and, like, completely destroy other people.
Right.
Like, and we don't have to name any to be specific and, like, not to try and, like, trigger anybody.
Yeah.
But, like, just think about human history, wherever you're from, like, in the world, whether you're watching this YouTube channel.
Yeah.
You can think of people that you identify with have been at odds with, and we could probably go back hundreds, thousands,
easily,
tens of thousands of years of being like, well, this person did this, well, this person did this. And it's kind of like, and it reminds me of, you remember Avatar: The Last Airbender? I'm pretty sure it's season 1 when they're trying to get the two crew, the two families across
the different Earth nations that through that little
pathway
area,
and you know they each had a different story of like, well, my ancestor was betrayed by your like it was like two brothers that ended up hating each other, and so their families split and they've always hated each other. And then Aang explains it, and he's like, oh, it was just a game misunderstanding and all that stuff.
They try to like ease everybody's minds.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's like, like, that doesn't matter anymore. Like, we're living in the now. Yes, context definitely matters for how you should, like, try and treat people or heal the wounds of the past. But, like, you don't heal the wounds of the past by murdering the rest of the world. And I know it's an anime and it's a little crazy, but, like, sometimes I feel like people in real life really think that way, and it's like, we can't do that. Like, we all should try and strive to fix the things in the past that were done, whether you are on the victim or the oppressor side or wherever you are in the world. But, like, Gabi, why do you think that way? And I really, really, really hope that she can kind of get this through her head that, like, bro, like, the world is bigger than just the bubble that you've been living in, and, like, what you've experienced, and, like, people experience things too, just like you.
Yeah.
And reality, like, if we're going to talk in the past 6 years, your people started the fight that killed her mother.
Yeah.
And if we want to go back farther than that, yes, you can keep going back and forth and blame who, but I think that's just, like, it's just insane. And it's so frustrating because, like, on both sides, I just want to pick up both these kids and be like, shut up!
Well,
and love each other, damn it!
I want to touch on that, too, because I was taking from the comments where people were like, well, I wonder what you guys are going to think of Gabi now, or all that. Like, I'm trying to like her. She's very frustrating because, like you said, she's brainwashed, and it's really pissing me off when she says to Kaya, your ancestors did that. It's your ancestors, too!
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. It's like, did you forget?
Disassociates.
Yeah, she disassociates because she wants to be, like, the better one. I'm like, okay, well, that's just as fucked up because you're not taking the blame for...
Yeah, that's also as a result of the brainwashing because the Marleyans sold them the lie that you can still redeem yourself and separate from the people who abandoned you to the island. So that also comes with just, like, what has been indoctrinated
for
into
sure,
her.
yeah.
And yeah, it's of course it's frustrating.
And also, she's a child. I understand that.
Yeah, she's younger, but she also has a good wit about herself. That's probably the frustrating part, is that she is a very intellectual child, like a young kid. Like, she's very capable of doing things in the military that the adults aren't capable of doing.
Yes.
She's been trained to do things that mostly only adults should be capable of completing.
She took out that train.
And that's why I said it was frustrating, and it seemed very deliberate that it was her choice to know the facts and not willingly choose to ignore Falco. See, that's why I don't hate Gabi, but it's why I love Falco, because Falco, that I said it I think early on, is like you watch him, and even with the outro, you look at him and you see that he's free.
Yeah,
like he's not from right off from, like, knowing him. He's already, like, almost a free person's mentality. Even if he gets arrested for the rest of his life, like, mentally, like, he is at peace with it. Like, you even watch this episode. She's trying to figure out how to kill the next person. He's just living, feeding the horse. Yeah. He's already in the day-to-day. He's not thinking of what war to start and who to
just blending
connive with. Yeah. He's just there because it doesn't matter to him. Like, and even the whole warrior thing, like, before Reiner half threatened him on the train, he didn't want to be a part of it because he just thought it was not a stupid idea, but just, like, he understood the consequences of what these children are signing themselves up for. He was already... He already had his third eye awakened. He already understood what was happening. He was ahead of the game. But, I mean, even when Reiner, like, told him he had to do this thing, it was never about because he wants to be the glorified warrior. It's because he wants to save Gabi and keep her away from that. Because Reiner brought up the good point. Like, this isn't, just like you're saying, Falco, this isn't a good thing. Save my nephew or niece so he, like, everything he's been doing, like, even when he, like, grabs her when they're flying up to kill Sasha, he's like, I have to be the armored titan. It's like, it's not what he means behind that. It's, I need to save you from that.
He's trying to get her to, like, stay alive, really. Also, I just want them to love each other. Like, Eldians, I know it's not going to happen in the show. It's not going to end in a good way or the way I want it to, but I just want these people to love each other and come to an agreement of, like, hey, we all messed up, let's try and make things better. It's not going to happen.
Start the rumble.
You know what the scene with Falco and Gabi reminded me of? When they were eating dinner with that family? Take one guess what you think I'm going to refer to. What scene does that remind you of?
From this show?
No, not from this show. But a show that this has commonalities with. Or parallels a lot of. Another very successful show.
Thrones?
Uh-huh. Do you recognize a scene that almost feels like
When they're eating the food.
With that family.
Dang it! It's when
Is it
fucking
Season 4 is when it happens.
Are you talking about Arya? Yeah,
that's what I was thinking too, but I can't put my thumb on
It
one.
reminds me of Arya and the Hound sitting down with the family that feeds
on food.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. Now, it's a reversal because in this scenario, they have already harmed this family, where in that scenario they eat, and then they harm the family after, and then the Hound feels the ramifications of that in Season 6. Season 7. Season 7 when he goes and shovels, they find the dead bodies of the father and the daughter.
Yeah, and he's cleaning up after it.
Takes care of them. It feels like a reversal of this, where Gabi literally gets to feel it in the now, because she's already dealt the death of the family prior. It's just a reversal of the cards. There's been a lot... and when I say this, I don't want you guys to think that I'm saying that they're stealing from Game of Thrones. I feel, and first of all, mimicking things is always going to happen.
Yeah.
Music always copies music for thousands of years. Art will inspire art. I definitely feel Game of Thrones in this show, especially Season 4. Like, even Armin on the boat, the wildfire scene definitely feels like that.
Yeah.
There was another moment that felt very much like... I mean, you could even say the festival is like, spoiler, like the Joffrey's wedding leading to something that's going to be huge and impacts the rest of the show.
Season 3, when Zeke resurrects the ring, that's the hard home, baby.
Well, even what's another one is just the flip of, like, you don't know how to feel about Marley and who, or the scouts when they come to war, you don't know who to really feel like. Because you don't want some of these characters, you don't want Reiner to die, but you don't want Mikasa and Levi to die, and then you like characters like Zeke because they're interesting. You don't want them to be killed. It's like when Jaime goes against Daenerys. It's like, I like this dude, but I also root for this girl. But when they come in conflict, it's like, who am I supposed to be siding with? Because that's just the natural conflict of interest when people got allegiances.
Yeah,
and I mean, even with like the past 3 episodes, just the infighting amongst the politics of where these people align. This is like really good stuff. And this is what's crazy about this show. You would never feel like this is what you're going to be delving into when you watch Season 1.
No,
Nothing in Season 1 I would have expected it to come to this place.
Yeah.
But it does it in such like a perfect way.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I wouldn't even say that it was like... Because I know some of you guys have said like, he didn't have full awareness of what he was going to be writing later on in the seasons. That's why Ymir looks like how she does, because it kind of doesn't work well with like what the Jaw Titan is now. Like, he was kind of writing new things as the ideas are presented. Like, I don't think he knew about the 9 Titans back during Season 1. But what's awesome about it is, even if that wasn't the intent when you got to Season 4 of writing the story,
it's still he
was able to incorporate it.
Yeah, the author made it work so well.
Like, he left enough things in the story that you can go back and make it interwoven with what the story ended up being by the end result. And that takes some masterful writing.
Yeah, that is masterful writing and storytelling.
That can be very complicated, because Lost did the same type of thing sometimes, where they were writing as they go, not knowing the end point. And sometimes you have situations where you're like, shit, I wrote myself into a hole. I don't really know how to answer what that meant back then. And for some Lost fans, like, it's one of my favorite shows, but there's definitely some plot points where it's just like, I can excuse it for that. Where this, it's like almost every single thing I can think of has been either resolved
or touched
there are a couple things that we still have to answer, but we still have like 16 plus episodes to jump into. Like, we're not at the end yet.
Yeah.
And those things, the things that are left, are so minuscule that you could wrap it up in a single sentence when the next Titan appears. Titan number 10 appears.
Yeah.
Like, you could answer pretty easily at this point.
Yeah. Can we talk about Mikasa?
Yeah, I feel actually horrible, because we've like barely talked about her this season at all.
Yeah.
And I feel like this has been one of her like great seasons, actually.
Yeah. So she meets up with Louise, who was the girl she saved in season 1. Was it right after Eren died, or right before Eren?
Something like that.
It was like
simultaneously. Well, I'm saying more so, did Mikasa know Eren was dead at that point?
She didn't know yet.
No. She was just going and saving, and then that was Flagel's dad, right?
That was Flagel's, that was
locked up
the Reeves guy.
Gate, yeah.
So, they meet, and she says, you know, she joined the Scouts to, like, she was so inspired by Mikasa. Like, she joined the Scouts because of her. And, you know, was just trying to, like, support Eren, who's, like, really leading the country and, like, really trying to free and protect the Eldian people in her eyes. You know, we still don't really know
what
Eren's
his full intent is.
Yeah, what his intent is at this moment. But, like, that's what the girl believes in. And it was really sweet because, like, you still... It's tough because you know that Mikasa has this draw towards Eren of, like, you're, like, family.
Yeah.
And I would, like... Normally I would protect you against anything, but it seems like now she's having that, like...
You're breaking my heart.
That... Yeah, you... I hate that scene.
I mean,
well,
honestly,
but, like,
I was thinking about that scene, but at the same time, it does imply.
Yeah, but like her like she's at the like the breaking point of like I need to decide whether I'm just going to join Eren and just like screw the world and just do whatever he wants of me, or am I going to go with like what my heart is telling me? Because that's what I feel like. I feel like her heart is pulling away from what her past heart was telling her.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, what do you guys think about that flashback she had to that scene when they first met when they were kids?
I didn't know if they were gonna like that was supposed to be like interpreted as like we're gonna learn what that was, or or like her realizing that
Eren's a monster.
Like just the start to realizing yes and no, but like her starting to separate in her head, because that's what I was gonna say about her is like she obviously for the past 3 seasons she's been like so in love with Eren and the idea of Eren because of that day where a little girl was saved, and it meant the world to her that she became like this shield to him, like annoyingly so, as we've stated for 3 seasons now. But like when even people like Armin are now back in contact with Eren, like almost everybody except for her has been able to like detach from him. Mm-hmm. Like Armin right away was like cold shouldering him when he lifted his hand up, like just dead eyes reaching down for him. And even when Heicho kicks him across the thing, Mikasa goes and runs, and Armin's like, no, like this needs to happen. Yeah. And so it's just showing that like she still holds on. So maybe that she's now seeing with this girl the damage that Eren is starting to cause, the rift, that he's no longer like
the person who he was,
the person that she's loved him to be.
Yeah.
And that it'll be a shame because like what that means is there'll probably be a moment in this show where like she'll have to put down the scarf, because like that has been the symbolism of like her allegiance to him.
Yeah.
And like there's gonna have to come a point where that symbolism is like, because they do that heavily in the show, like Reiner with the flag, like that's obviously her bond.
She did,
her bond with him. So there's probably going to be quite a very chilling scene where the day comes where she's going to have to let that go, which is really upsets me now and is really sad. Ugh.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mikasa's been very I always crap on Mikasa because it's and fairly so, because normally she's only just a one-tool device for mostly Eren's character.
Just finish your thought.
But I have been enjoying her quite a bit this season. I think this will be her most pivotal season because you bastard couldn't let me finish my thoughts. I'm gonna need your assistance, Will, because I already don't remember what it was.
You said Mikasa is gonna have a pivotal moment in this season.
Oh, this is gonna be her most pivotal moment, only because like her 3 seasons of being a side character has always been about one single idea. And that single idea is like going to be the most pressing thing going into the end portion of season 4.
Yeah. Because
her love could potentially be the most dangerous person the show is going to have to face.
Yeah.
And that's her whole character, her whole identity has been him.
Yeah.
So, and we've actually, it's crazy because we've talked about this since season 2 at least, when you couldn't talk about it openly. But like we would say like, the way that Mikasa as a character will ever be able to flesh out is when she separates from him.
Yeah, we were talking about that very early on. It might have been season 1, actually.
It literally could have been. I don't know the exact moment, but I remember distinctly feeling that way about her because I didn't particularly take interest to her shtick. But it stinks that it has to wait until season 4, but it will make her character very enjoyable going forward because of this.
Yeah.
But it's also very sad.
In one of the previous episodes, she was also denying that Eren was laughing. She was the only one defending Eren in that group meeting with Connie and Jean.
Yeah. I mean, she's still there.
Yeah.
Like, she has...
Part of her is, like, she wants him to still be the good guy.
I want to jump on that real quick, too, before I forget it, too. I know we've been kind of, like, giggling and, like, trying to understand that moment of Eren with the laughter. I still personally feel like it's not so much laughter as it's like a mental breakdown.
It was shock.
No, just like a mental breakdown. Like, you know, I think I tried to bring it up, like how I said, like, I have, when I feel very, like, uncomfortable, I break into, like, really uncomfortable faces of smiling. That's, like, very probably disturbing to some people. If something really gruesome happens, I giggle and cackle. But I'm saying, like, Eren... It's not so much that I don't think he's laughing at the meat thing. I think that's something theory-wise that I want to talk about too, about that situation entirely, but we'll get to that. But I definitely think that's more mental breakdown as opposed to him laughing. That's all I'll say on it.
Yeah. I still think it's, I mean, I think it can be both. Like, it can be both. Like, him just not being, like, emotionally and mentally mature enough in that moment to, like, be like, oh, a friend died, to not laugh. Mm-hmm. But then he also, like, because he finds it funny, but then also it's like, he's not mature enough to recognize, like, oh, even though I found this funny, it's not really the right thing to laugh at that. But also, at the same time, it can also be a mental lapse or a breakdown of just like, what the, like, I've lived up in so much like pent up rage and you know, conspiracy theory, Eren drawing pictures on the wall guy, and now it's like, oh, this is kind of like a moment of reality to snap back,
everything snapped
back.
And we will bring up this point again because I actually have some like ideas as to what's actually happening with Eren now, and stuff with Reiner as well. More on this episode, though. Flock is the deceiver. Flock is the eyes and ears for Eren while he's in jail, unbeknownst to Eren, or maybe beknownst to Eren.
Yeah,
maybe Eren does.
This is probably a plan.
Maybe Eren does have some plans of his own with Flock. Who knows?
Well, I think it's been an ongoing thing based on what Pixis was saying with Yelena. Like, you and Flock have been like Flock has been coming to your area. He was posted watching where you live. You were living.
The guard switched.
Yeah, the guard switched, and Flock was taking over.
Was the one.
And you also were living near Eren, and then Eren disappeared. Like this is like another fucking infiltration. Of
I don't understand.
Paradis.
How much is it Eren, or how much is it Zeke?
Or is it both?
Or is it both? Or is Flock willingly helping, thinking it's for Eren, but really it's for Zeke?
That's like...
I'm not even sure if Zeke is on the same board with Eren right now.
Well, you think Eren's really working with other people?
Well, that's what I don't understand.
Or are people working, like...
What
I don't want to say for. They're doing this for Eren, and Eren just is like, all right, I'll use you.
But what made Eren flip sides? Because he was so against Zeke's
I know.
plan.
Yes, yeah. That's what I still... That's the thing in Season 4 so far that I'm so curious about, and I really want to know the answer. Like, that's my number one priority. Why have you flipped? A. B, it's going back to what I think about the whole him doing the declaration, or him appearing in the declaration of war. There was somebody in our in our Patreon comment for the video for Declaration of War saying that we didn't understand Eren's like motive in the moment of like attacking, because like Willie and them were already going to attack. Mm-hmm. I'm rehashing this because it'll come full circle. A, yeah, they were already going to attack no matter what. But B, there are plenty of people years prior, like Armin, who in the flashback we just saw, who was saying, man, maybe we should extend an olive branch. Maybe we should try and work with the other side. And Eren was like, nah, we're not doing that. Yeah. We're going to have to fight and kill these people. That is what he said when he had like the half-long hair and he was still a kid, like 2 years post Shiganshina battle.
Mm-hmm. Oh, when he was shooting the rifle?
Yes.
When they were at the shooting range.
So, my opinion on like what Eren is doing in general, and it kind of is that, I think that Eren is aligning himself with Zeke, and I don't have any proof for this, so like I'm just kind of talking out my ass a little bit, but I think he's aligning himself with Zeke, and they both have kind of the same idea.
but they're going to execute it differently.
But I think Eren is just going to utilize this to his better
advantage.
betterment. Just like he used the scouts, like he
Yeah.
knew that they were going to come and fight, so he used them to help with start this war,
Right.
to accelerate this war faster than what it was going to be. And I think that there is a chance that he is doing the same thing with Zeke, because until I know why he flipped sides and why he's working with Zeke, I have a feeling that he has his own intention on it. So I could totally see, like, what you just said of him, everybody doing all these things for Zeke and Eren, but Eren is just like,
in reality,
all right, Zeke,
like,
I'm gonna let you do your
exactly.
plan, and we'll work together. When it's my time,
fuck all you.
Yeah, when I get what I want out of this, it's gonna be dead.
Yeah,
like, Dunzo for you. He'll just eat Zeke right there.
Like
you know?
we were all talking about Mikasa, and I was like, I'm starting to think like right now. Do you think there's gonna be like a moment where Eren is like, Mikasa,
join me,
and then she either says yes or no, and if it's no, he's just like, all right, dead, you're dead.
I also don't know if like Zeke has any upper hands in anything. Like, is he using Eren's defeated self and manipulating him to do these grand things for his own purpose? Like, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out what Zeke's intent. Like, I know he says the Eldian restoration, but I wonder if it really is just that. Because why has he aligned with the Eastern clan?
Hizuna.
Like, why get them involved?
I know. Well,
why take the stuff?
Resources.
Yeah, but why take the stuff to? But why? They're not Eldian, right? Are they?
Well, that's the thing. It might just also be another.
They're
Jaeger.
Oppressed by Marley or something. They're a struggling power, maybe.
Yeah, but surely he's smart enough to know that like they're gonna come for the resources and not be beneficial to him, or be a something that you're gonna have to deal with.
So maybe he's just using them too.
Yeah, but that's what I was feeling like. He's probably just taking advantage of the moment, knowing that they're greedy and they'll do anything they can to monopolize that fossil fuel. And as soon as they've served their use, he cuts them off or kills them.
Right.
But so his plan, was he really that naive to think that Paradis would accept the terms of the Hizaru group or whatever? Their stipulations were so ridiculous. Like anyone with a conscience would know that it's such a bullshit, such a horrible thing to go with.
Yeah, and even they were about to do it if Eren didn't scream like, "Hell no, I don't agree to this."
Yeah,
like I don't know. I just feel like it's so.
I mean, in fairness to Zeke, if Zeke has really been playing this super long game since he was like a baby,
that's impressive.
He could be playing a super long game with like getting this plan together and then knowing they're going to deny it so that they can later do all this stuff. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much of a mastermind Zeke is.
Right.
That's the thing about this whole thing. I'm like, how much is this guy really involved in it? And it's kind of like, you know how like there's always someone behind the curtain, like, oh, you think it's really this person?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there's really this guy that's behind the scenes. Oh, well, this guy's actually controlling everything. Like, we still don't really understand.
I hate that.
We still don't understand. Like, remember when Zeke was a baby, someone was whispering in his ear.
Yeah,
like, we don't know if that was just like an owl, a Jace person that was just like, "Yo, do this." And
I think we will see that. Like, I think there has to be a Zeke centric moment. We've spent so much time with him. He has to have his own episode. Every character has gotten like an episode.
Yeah.
He has to get his own episode in this part one. Because there's so much. He's so pivotal to everything. Like, without him, I mean, his story is an option, but like he's also been the main like protagonist / maybe antagonist of the story. I said that wrong. Flipped. Main antagonist, maybe protagonist of the story. Yeah. His story's also like a drawn out version of the Owl's story.
Yeah.
Like a man who literally had to do horrible things for placing chess pieces to extend it for an eventual good thing.
Yeah.
So if and that's literally been his whole childhood. Like his whole life has been what the Owl's adult life was. So,
well, that's the thing. It's like, do we think that there is someone even outside of this that is still around that's pulling the strings, or did Zeke just take it over when he was an adult too? That's another thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
I don't know if it's so much like a master behind the strings as much as it could be just a group force, or what it is just... It's also... We still have there's still a whole section of the story that we have, like, the Season 3 mentioned, and then Season 4 never went back to. But, like, the idea of everybody being connected, the tree symbolism that we keep seeing, the fact that every Titan is able to be connected to previous hosts and future hosts, affecting either how the past and the future versions feel about things.
Yeah.
Like, what has Zeke experienced from his past? What has he seen into the future? And so now it's kind of a good segue, because I wanted to talk about Eren a bit. And I wanted to talk about it because I just, as you guys know, I just saw I re-released the Sasha episode. So when I was watching that, Eren freaks out. There's a couple times that Eren freaks out, and it's interesting because, like, he's so dead during all those episodes, but there's, like, 2 things that stick out to him that is enough for him to elicit a response. One, and we'll get to the Sasha one, but I'll cover Reiner first. One is when Reiner is able to get the Jaw Titan out of away from him. He pulls it away, and Eren is shocked at what happened. And then, like, we have this really weird line with Eren of
I can't defeat him right now.
Like, we're exhausted. We've hit our limit. Also, I don't know if something about it's not the right time with Reiner, right? And we kind of talked about that the past 2 episodes. And then I had a thought because of this end credit too. So initially, what I thought is that he had already gotten to Reiner. Like, he was able to, like, you know how the Founding Titans' power is, like, you can kind of manipulate how people are, but you need the Historia to be around for it to happen. And I was wondering to myself, how much of that is true because of, like, time distortion being a thing where, like, time might not even matter. You might be able to take a moment from the future and affect something in the past.
That would be crazy.
Yeah.
Like, what if, like, something happened in the future and he was able to, like, take that and take it back and transfer it and maybe affect how Reiner is?
Yeah.
It's so hard to even try to I had it written down in paper and I didn't bring it today. But then I kind of stopped thinking of that because Reiner wants to go and attack Eren and all these people. Like, he's still kind of against Eren, so that kind of didn't work. So then my next thought now was, what if it's not so much that, or if Eren has seen already into the future, and that, like, he knows the time for Reiner isn't now because he has now seen the predestined things that Reiner's supposed to do coming up.
True. Yeah.
We don't know what that is, but maybe...
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, you're about to extinguish this again?
I'm about to...
Sneeze?
Damn it. Yeah.
You scared me. I was like, how is the battery already?
My bad, sorry.
Well, I'm sorry for interrupting your sneeze.
No, I'm sorry for interrupting you talking.
I don't care.
I just didn't want to cut you off.
The Sasha thing, too, like, you could also interpret it as, like, he asks Connie, like, what were her last words? Like, he doesn't seem to care about anything, but, like, he asks Connie, like, what were her last words? And then he replies, meat, or whatever. And then he starts to cackle. Could that also be interpreted as, like, if he is, like, seeing things in the future, like, he's asking that for confirmation?
Holy shit.
Because he has already fucking seen things. God. And he's breaking down. Like, the audience isn't supposed to see that. The characters are supposed to ridicule him for how he's feeling. But in reality, he's just going through the same type of crisis he had when he touched Historia's hand. Like, he's hitting these things, and now he has future knowledge. And it's just messing with him that he's so it's like Bran. Yeah. You've seen too much. You're now completely removed from society. He asks the question, it hits him, and he realizes that there's, like, nothing you can do about it. That's the thing, and this is why it sucks, because Eren's whole thing is freedom, and that comes with the idea of free will. Like, you're able to do what you want to do. What is horrible about that, and why I don't even understand that with the Attack Titan, is it seems like you have no free will. Like, everything is predestined.
Decided what's going to
so
happen.
Is the hackle, like, him realizing the confirmation that him as a person has lived his whole life wanting free will, and that's, like, confirmation that there is no longer free will. You saw this happen in the future, and it is full confirmation that, like, you have no freedom over your life. It is completely decided in a book from thousands of years prior. Yeah. And that is the horrible trick. And that is horrible because... But what I don't know is, like, what what does that mean for us going forward? I just felt that I was like, this is like so messed up.
Yeah.
And such an evil trick to Eren too.
Yeah, especially for who he is as
who he is as a person. Like, I mean, like what's worse is like, it's not even fair because I don't know if he would have experienced that if he wasn't the Attack Titan. Like they said, the Attack Titan is what gives you that desire for free will. So he wouldn't have even had that if he wasn't the bloody Attack Titan. So I don't want the attack. That is such a like, who designs a Titan to crave something that it can never have?
Yeah.
Who designed that?
That's awful. You know, was one other thing I was thinking about too, and we've kind of touched on this before, but not about this topic. Like, okay, so you know we've talked about like how the founding Titan, like Yuri and his daughter Frida, like how they kind of almost have like a hive mind of like, it's like the same person. It's like every person's conscience has kind of been like added to this because, like, you know, it's like you change as a person when you get the founding Titan. Like, you have the founding Titan and now you're like, we have to do this a certain way because I decided 1,000 years ago that we decided. And it's like, you're not even the same person now. Like, you are this one being.
Yeah.
What if, 2, is that Eren has actually been able to access that, but has twisted it in some way.
Yeah.
But also, well, okay, so it could be one thing, because that doesn't make sense, because he would have the same mindset, but I kind of always thought of it as like a hive mind, and that he goes and like, or he has multiple minds in his head. But he goes through, and then it's like, oh, it was her last words, meat. And then that's like Eren popped out.
That's
like, you know what I mean? Like, Eren popped out, and he's like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And then
a little similar to what I was thinking.
And he falls back into it, and now it's like, okay, now I'm back to this like conglomerate of like, because the other thing too, sorry, all over the place, my brain's just like running 7,000 directions. But the other thing too is that like, in our comments, people have like confirmed that like, and they've said it in the show, like, Armin has seen Berthold's pass. Galliard has seen his brother's pass. Yeah. You know, Eren has like, how many Titans in him now?
3.
He has tons of people in his mind now.
But yeah, so
he has all the Tybers. He has every person who ever had the attack and the entire Fritz family, supposedly.
So like, but that's the thing. It's like even more like Bran Stark.
Oh yeah,
you are just now you are literally a conglomerate of like
at least 2,000 years of users,
of different users, of like 3 sets of 2,000 years of users. Like,
and, well, that's why I don't understand why was King Fritz from 100 years ago the one who got to choose the mentality for anyone after that? That sounds like bullshit.
Yeah,
like that doesn't make sense. Maybe like that's why I have to believe that Eren will either be able to break through that. Remember how I was saying like, I want to know if anyone's able to access like the first user. Like I think I said it with Willie. I was like, what if he was able to like see something from like the year 1?
Yeah, like
when he was
right
revealing
after they
the
got
truth.
split to 9.
Like I still don't know how much of the truth that they talk about with the Eldians is still even true.
Yeah,
it still doesn't matter because the whole theme of like it shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
But like I still don't think we know even a percentage of what the real truth is, and that's why I feel like the show like is about to be such a weird. Like, I feel like it has no other option but to get super weird in the final part 2. Like, I don't think we'll get into part 1, but, like, I have to imagine we're going to get the Devil of All Earth. We're going to get super sci-fi. We're going to learn what really is happening. And it's all just going to be Assassin's Creed. It was just a couple aliens that came and poked and prodded each other, and then their sperm fell out onto the grass, and the mud mixed, and it created a Titan, and I don't know.
Yeah, my theory about Eren with the chuckling was that he's just been so emotionless and doesn't like remember what an emotion is, and then that triggered him, and that was the first thing that popped in his head was just to laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's insane. This whole season is nuts. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just like it's hard for me to even like figure out what to think about certain things because it's like some stuff I'm just like like hive mind thing, like that's just me being fun and trying to think outside the box, like the parasite Titan or the Titan inside the Titan inside the Titan inside the Titan in the nape,
which could still very well be a thing.
Which could still be a thing.
I think the hive mind could be a thing.
Yeah, but it's like there's that, and then there's also like there's just so much going on. going back to it, I just really want to know what Zeke and Eren. We need that. We need a flashback of Zeke's life, and we need a flashback as to how they connected and what it is they're connected.
What is the name of the next episode? I want to cheat and see what, because we're jumping into it in like less than 10 minutes. But I just want something to go off of. Guide. That doesn't sound helpful. Okay. I was hoping it'd be like the Apple of Eden.
Jaeger versus Jaeger, part 1.
Jaeger, the battle.
Zeke's background.
The Jaeger Meister.
Zeke's file.
Hinga-dinga-durgan.
The Zeke's files.
Zeke files.
Nice.
I think. Do you have any other thoughts?
Mm-hmm.
I think I've expended my mind for this episode.
Thank you,
Sasha, for the great episode.
Yeah.
Your death was not in vain. We're already feeling it.
Yeah.
Guys, if you made it this far in the video, make sure you leave a like on it. If you're not subscribed to this channel and you watched it to this point, dude, what are you doing? Subscribe to us. 70% of you guys watch us and you don't subscribe, so please try to support us if you like this kind of content. Also, leave a comment about what your thoughts were at the time. And for the time being, we're going to jump into the guide and see if it actually guides us somewhere. We're going to punch it.
Wow! Leave a comment if you made it to the end.
Yeah. With the timestamp.
Timestamp it.